The tibia is a long bone which is situated medially in the leg. It is the second largest bone of the body and it has one upper end, shaft and one lower end. The upper end is much larger compared to the lower end. The lower end shows one projection which is known as the medial malleolus. Now we will see the side determination of the tibia bone. For this, the bone should be held vertically with the massive upper part above and the end which bears the medial malleolus below. The tibial tuberosity should face anteriorly. So, this is the left-sided tibia. Now, we will discuss about the upper end of the tibia. The upper end is expanded to form a mass that projects medially, laterally and posteriorly. So you can see this is the shaft and it is beyond the shaft. When we see the superior aspect of tibia, it is seen to consist of two parts, one medial, one lateral condyles. These are separated by one area which is known as the intercondylar area. The anterior aspect of the upper end, here it shows one tuberosity which is known as the tibial tuberosity. The upper surface of the upper end of the tibia, it contains medial and lateral articular surfaces. These are the condyles. So these condyles from superior view has concave area which is articular and it forms the knee joint with the condyles of femur. The medial articular surface is oval in shape. The lateral articular surface is rounded in shape. The medial surface is larger than the lateral articular surface. While this area, which is the intercondylar area, it is non-articular. The upper end, which consists of medial condyle, this medial condyle has three surfaces, one anterior surface, one medial surface and one posterior surface. The posterior surface has one groove, you can see here. In this groove, tendon of semimembranosus attached. Here, this is the superior view of the upper end of the tibia. This is the medial side and this is the lateral side. So this blue colored structure you can see here, it is the medial meniscus and this is the lateral meniscus. posterior horn of medial meniscus and posterior cruciate ligament. So this anterior to posterior relation is important. We have a mnemonic to remember this. It is Medical College Lucknow, Lucknow Medical College. So M for medial meniscus, anterior horn. C for cruciate ligament, which is anterior. L for lateral meniscus, anterior horn. Next L is for lateral meniscus, posterior horn. M for medial meniscus, posterior horn. And C for cruciate ligament, posterior. Now we will discuss about some important attachment of the tibia bone. Here you can see the white marked area. This is tibial tuberosity. Its upper rough area gives attachment to the ligamentum patelli. This is the shaft of the tibia and it is triangular in shape. So it has three borders, one anterior border, one medial border and one lateral border. The anterior border of the tibia is also known as the shin. It extends just below from the tibial tuberosity, extends downwards and ends as the anterior margin of the medial malleolus. Medial border, it extends from the most inferior part of the medial condyle, then it descends and it ends as the posterior margin of the medial malleolus. The lateral border, it extends just below to the facet for the fibula, then after descending downwards it ends at the anterior margin of the lower triangular area. The shaft of the tibia has three surfaces. One medial surface between the anterior border and medial border, one lateral surface between the anterior border and lateral border, and one posterior surface between the lateral border and medial border. The medial surface of the shaft of the tibia is subcutaneous in its lower part. The posterior surface of the shaft of the tibia, one oblique line is there which is known as the soleal line. The soleus muscle attached here, just above this soleal line, the posterior surface of the tibia, it is triangular in shape. Just below the soleal line, the whole of the shaft is further divided by one vertical ridge. Now we will discuss about the lower end of the tibia. The lower end has 5 surfaces, one anterior surface, one medial surface, one posterior surface, one lateral surface, and inferior surface. The medial surface of the lower end, it projects downwards and forms the medial malleolus. The inferior surface, it is smooth and it is articular. It is quadrilateral, you can see, in shape, and it articulates with the talus to form the ankle joint. Now we will talk about the medial malleolus, which is a pyramidal process that extends from the medial surface of the lower end. It has one medial subcutaneous surface, one lateral surface which articulates with the talus, one posterior surface, and one apex. The apex of the medial malleolus gives attachment to the deltoid ligament. The medial surface of the shaft of the tibia, the lower part is subcutaneous as I have described, but the upper area, which has some rough structure, here 3 muscles attached, one sartorius, then gracilis and semitendinosus. The lateral surface of the shaft of the tibia, in its upper 2/3, this marked area you can see, it gives the origin to the tibialis anterior muscle. On the posterior surface, as I have described in previous part, this is the solear line, the soleus muscle attached here. Just above the soleal line, the triangular area gives insertion to the popliteus muscle. Just below this soleal line, the vertical ridge divides into the medial and lateral area. The medial area gives attachment to the flexor digitorum longus muscle, while the lateral area gives attachment to the tibialis posterior muscle. Now we will see the ossification of the tibia. It has one primary center which is for the shaft, and it appears at the 7th week of the intrauterine life. There are 2 secondary centers, one for the upper end, one for the lower end. The upper end secondary center appears just before the birth and it fuses at the 18th year. For the lower end, the secondary center appears on the 1st year and then fuses at the 17th year of the